YouTube channel. I'm Abiodun Adelu. I'm a relationship and a personal development coach. If this is your first time on this YouTube channel, you are powerfully welcome. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel and put on the notification button to get notified when I post subsequent videos. And make sure you like this video too. In this video, we'll be answering a question. Can there be secrets in a love relationship? Can we keep secrets? Can we keep secrets? Now, in 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 17, it says that if any man be in Christ is a new creation, all things are passed away, behold, all things have become new. So if you have some past that you're not proud of before you got into that relationship, if you've done some things in the past or some details about your life that you feel like this is not something I really want to talk about and I just want it to be a secret. Now, if you did those things during time of ignorance, the Bible says that the time of ignorance, God has winked at. So God has forgiven you and God has forgotten about it. But you may need to talk about it to your partner. Now, it may not be every single detail. Okay, some details are not necessary, but there are some things you need to talk about. Number one, anything that can inform your partner's decision. If you feel like, I want you to know about this so that you know me and then you can make your decisions consciously, and when you are making your decision to marry me or to enter into a relationship with me, you are aware of this and this and that, and then you decide to go ahead, and in that point it is based on your conviction and your love. It's not because if you not tell me this one, I wouldn't have agreed to marry you. If you not tell me this one, I wouldn't have come to you. No, anything that can affect your partner's decision, make sure you tell your partner about it. Number two, anything that has direct impact on your life, your marriage, your future, your health, or your partner. Any of such things need to be talked about. Anything that you know that this thing is going to affect our marriage, if my partner doesn't know about it, this thing will affect my life. For example, health-related matters, you need to talk about it. Past sexual experiences, you may need to talk about it. You don't need to give unnecessarily graphic details. Okay, this is how we were doing it when I was with my previous partner. You don't need all of those things. Spare the person unnecessary graphic details. But make sure that the partner is aware that you were sexually active before, it was your past, but you've moved on. Number three, anything that you really not appreciate if your partner hears it first from somebody else outside. If you know that if my partner hears about this outside, I won't like it, and then the person won't like it, then you need to create an atmosphere to talk about it. Number four, any sensitive matter that needs to be dealt with. If it is a sensitive matter that, even though I have moved on, this matter has to be dealt with, you need to talk about it. Example of such things include past relationship. There was this movie that we watched recently by Mount Zion movie production, Magdalene. That's the title of the movie, Magdalene. You can check it on YouTube. It's a very, very wonderful movie. So it talks about some people that didn't talk about their past, especially the lady. Her past relationship, abortion experience, and some other things about her. She didn't tell the guy because she doesn't want the guy to go. The reason why people keep secrets is because they don't want to lose this new partner. In fact, she was a year older than the guy and she didn't tell the guy. She told the guy that she just picked a particular age that is younger than the guy's age, and she said that that's her age. The guy found out about those things and then it created a problem in the marriage. It's a good movie for you guys to watch together, so I recommend that. There are some things about your past that you need to talk about. If it has to do with your past relationship, your previous sexual experience, if it has to do with your health, or any other matter that will have immense impact on your relationship. If it has to do maybe in the past you've done something for a financial fraudulence. Okay, maybe you've had some cases with the police before, and you feel like if your partner got to know about this from someone else, I won't really appreciate it, and this person will not appreciate that I'm keeping such things from them. So you need to talk about it. If you've had some cases in the past, there was a time that I did this and then I was arrested. I once have some experiences with the law enforcement agencies and all that. So if anything that when your partner knows about it, the person won't appreciate hearing it from someone else, you need to talk about it. It may not necessarily have to do with relationship or sexual experience. It could have to do with health. It could have to do with a social matter. Maybe you have had some financial issues with a particular company, and then you feel like this company can come for you anytime, and then your partner does not know about it. Let him or her know about it so that when the time comes, you know how to handle it together. It can also include consequential family history. If there's an history in your family, in my family, this used to happen, this and this and this used to happen. And this is something that we are trusting God to help us to overcome. You need to talk about it. Past mistakes. What are the mistakes you've made in the past? Consequential ones. The ones that you know that this is a mistake that can affect my life, affect our marriage, affect our future in a way. But I have moved on. But I just want you to know about it so that in case you hear about it from someone else, it won't be a news to you. Like I earlier said, the reason people don't want to talk about these things is because they don't want to lose their partners. But by not talking about it, you're already losing your partner, because when the person got to know about it, it will affect the trust that both of you have for each other, and it will affect your relationship in many other areas. The person won't be able to trust even the ones that you've not talked about. How am I sure that you don't even have a child? How am I sure that this is all? All of those things have a tendency of affecting your relationship and your marriage. So it is good to talk about it. Now, in talking about it, the first thing is that you need to be sure that you have moved on. If it is a past relationship, have you moved on from that relationship? Have you moved on in terms of the act? If it is your past previous sexual experiences, have you stopped those things, or you still keep those sexual partners? So you need to move on in terms of the act. You need to move on in terms of the spiritual consequences of what you have done. So now, if you've had some sexual experiences in the past, a lot of covenants have been activated and they need to be broken. You don't just say, well, I've moved on, I've stopped doing it. The spiritual consequences of your previous sexual experiences has to be dealt with. And emotionally, you need to have moved on emotionally too. So I hope the guilt from your past mistakes, the shame and the pain from it, have you moved on from it? Because if you've not moved on, it has the way of affecting your current relationship. Number 2, affirm to your partner that this is your past. Because the person start wondering, how am I sure that you've moved on from this? How am I sure that you and this person, you are still not together? You said that the person still calls you yesterday, and then you said that you picked the call. How are you sure that how am I sure that both of you are not together again? You need to affirm to your partner that this is your past and you've moved on. And you must show that practically by doing things that makes your partner see. If you need to show evidence, if I see the message I sent to him, see when they called me yesterday, see the voice recording, anything that can strengthen your partner's conviction that truly you have moved on, just make sure that you present those things. Number 3, if it is something that needs to be handled, make sure that you seek professional advice. If it has resulted in a grievous health issue, maybe you've lost your womb, maybe you can't give birth again, maybe you've had an abortion in the past, maybe you have a child already, you need to seek professional advice on how to handle those things. There are different ways to handle different matters. And when you seek professional advice, if it is something that has to do with health, you may need to talk to a gynecologist or a medical doctor or something. If it is something that has to do with maybe something that happened in the past, and then the spiritual consequence is still haunting on you, then you may need to talk to a pastor to help you, to counsel you on how you can break some of those legal grounds that you've opened in the past and allow the devil to afflict your life, so that you don't bring in someone that is innocent into an already complicated matter. It is important to seek professional advice and spiritual advice and legal advice if it is something that has to do with legal cases. For example, if you have a child in the past and the father of the child or the mother of the child is still alive and the family of the child are involved, how do you handle this professionally and legally? Who takes care of the child? Who will the child be living with? Who is responsible for the child? All of those things have to be talked about. Number 4, you must be ready for shock. Depending on how grievous it is, your partner may experience some shocks, and then the person may become disappointed and all of those things. You need to prepare for that. And you need to also understand that sometimes people need time to overcome that shock from an unexpected story. Maybe the person has never imagined that you've done that in the past before. So there may probably be an initial shock of, wow, so this has happened before, and then the person probably withdraws for a day or two or something, and then the person is trying to be whole emotionally. So that's not unexpected. Only make sure that you carry your coaches and your counselors and your spiritual leaders along, so that they can help both of you to overcome that stage of trying to understand some things about your past, so that the person out of shock may not mishandle it and then the person jet out. And finally, if the person leaves, take it as a sign that you're not meant for each other. There are some times that when some people know some details about your life, they will leave that relationship and say, I'm not sure I can deal with this. Now, that is what people fear that makes them not to talk about such things, because they don't want the person to leave. But if you tell the person inside marriage, the person feels cheated and it may affect your marriage for life. So why don't you tell the person, so that the person is fully aware of the decision that he or she is making now? And if the person is leaving, just be sure that you have done the right thing and God is with you and will bring you into another, to another person. But if the person decides that, oh, I've thought about this and I'm ready to stay with you to fight this through, just be sure that this is somebody that God has ordained for you guys together, and it's a wonderful thing for you. Like I said earlier, avoid unnecessary graphic details. If it has to do with previous sexual experience, you don't need to start talking about, okay, this is how we used to do it. This is the way the person used to do. Anything that is like a dirty detail, you don't need to talk about that. Just talk about the fact that, okay, this and this and this happened in the past. I'm not proud of it. It's not something I really want to talk about. But I've moved on and I'm trusting God to help me to be whole again and all of those things. But if you still feel like I still don't have the boldness to talk about this, or I still feel like I'm not handling this matter the right way, then talk to a relationship coach or a marriage counselor and let them guide you on how to go about it. Not all matters are secret anyways. But if it is something that falls in those 4 categories we'll talk about, something that can affect your relationship, something that can affect the person's decision, something that has previous consequences and all of those things, make sure that you seek professional counsel and look for ways to present those things. It won't be good if your partner is hearing from outside, or if your partner finds out later in the future. It has a way of affecting your relationship or breaking the marriage itself. So make sure that you seek professional advice and trust God for wisdom on how to present it. There's a wisdom for presenting a matter, and trust God for wisdom on how to present it. I believe that God will give you that wisdom. And I hope you've learned something from this video. If you've truly learned something from this video, make sure that you like this video and make sure that you subscribe if you haven't. See you in the next video.